Good evening, everyone. I can tell when the room starts to hush that folks are getting ready. So I'd love to welcome you to Realizing Human Potential, sponsored by the Curry School of Education Foundation at the University of Virginia. My name is Jennifer Hunter, and I'm the Senior Vice President of Communications and Corporate Citizenship at Altria. I'm also very proud to serve on the board of the Curry School of Education Foundation. It's wonderful to have so many of you here with us this evening who are interested in learning about the important work that the Curry School of Education is leading, and I'm pleased that Altria is the presenting sponsor for tonight's program. Altria has a long history of working with and supporting the University of Virginia and the Curry School of Education. Over the years, projects have included the evaluation of the first tee, the Partnership for Leaders in Education to support Richmond City schools, and since 2009, Youth Next, an interdisciplinary program devoted to promoting healthy youth development through focused research, training, and service. Youth Next and their support of Next Up, which is a local Richmond program, is among several transformative Curry programs that you'll learn more about this evening. So to get us started, it's my privilege to introduce to you Bob Pianta, Dean of the Curry School of Education. Bob is the Novartis Professor of Education, founding director of the Curry School's Center for Advanced Study of Teaching and Learning, professor of psychology at the College of Arts and Sciences, and director of the National Center for Research in Early Childhood Education. Bob began his career as a special education teacher and joined the University of Virginia faculty in 1986. He served as the dean of the Curry School since 2007, a period in which the school's U.S. News rankings have moved from 34 to 18, and which has been marked by a doubling of its funded research portfolio. A nationally recognized expert in both early childhood education and K-12 teaching and learning, Bob regularly consults with federal agencies, foundations, and universities. I remember the first time I met Bob. We were having a conversation about how we could work together to better support middle school youth, avoid risky behaviors, and have positive outcomes in their life. He impressed me then, and he's continued to impress me every time I see him. So it brings me great pleasure to welcome Dean Pianta.
Thank you, Jennifer. Welcome, everyone. It's a great pleasure to have you all here tonight. I want to thank the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts for hosting us in this fantastic space. Isn't this wonderful? And to Altria, our partner and strong supporter for much of our work over many years. Tonight, we share with you a few of the exciting ways the Curry School is realizing human potential. For almost a year, our faculty invested a great deal of effort in creating a vision for what a school of education in a distinguished research university could do to tackle major social challenges in the coming decades. Central to that vision has been the recognition that as scholars and educators, our goal is to facilitate the development of all individuals to fulfill their potential. We accomplish this through innovative, proven effective, and scalable solutions that exponentially impact systems of education, health, and human services, and advance societies for the good. There is a unique place in our country for an innovative school of education in confronting some of society's greatest challenges, and I am convinced that Curry is that school. Based in a leading university with a faculty of exceptional scholars and practitioners, an inspired student body, and an array of partners across Virginia, the Commonwealth is Virginia, across UVA, the Commonwealth, and around the world. The Curry School is poised to create new knowledge and translate that knowledge into relevant and usable solutions for positive change. The posters that are positioned around this room, and I really encourage you later on to go around and visit those, reflect our vision of impact, innovation, and opportunity, and our deep engagement with the field. The bottom line is that the Curry School of Education is engaged in important initiatives with partners locally, regionally, and nationally. We're leading work that matters. I hope you had the chance to engage some of the faculty in their work as you entered, and as I said, you'll have more time to engage them following our presentations this evening. But before we get to those presentations, we're joined tonight by President Teresa Sullivan, who will provide some university context for the Curry School's work and the presentations you'll hear tonight. So let me introduce to you President Sullivan. It is an honor and a great pleasure to introduce the University of Virginia's 8th President, Teresa A. Sullivan. Since taking office in 2010, Terry has led UVA through a period of significant progress. In fall of 2012, she launched the broad-based engagement process that became the Cornerstone Plan, a strategic vision for the university's future. And she has led planning for the university's bicentennial commemoration, which begins next week in Charlottesville with the bicentennial launch celebration. I have had the great pleasure of working with Terry throughout most of my deanship, and without question, Curry's success has been enhanced by her support and her vision. Her appreciation for the work we do in preparing professionals for important work, her understanding of our unwavering commitment to evidence and impact, and her facilitation of partnerships with government and stakeholder groups have been critical to our progress. Terry's encouragement and advocacy has meant a great deal to Curry's faculty, staff, and students. Terry, thank you for your support and for taking time to be with us this evening. Welcome, President Sullivan.
Thank you, Bob, for that warm introduction. I'm delighted to be here in Richmond this evening alongside Dean Pianta and many of our wonderful faculty members from the Curry School of Education. And I'm pleased to welcome all of you. Among our special guests tonight are legislators from around the Commonwealth and Congressman David Bratt, the Curry School Foundation Board of Directors, leaders from other colleges and universities in Richmond, and our event sponsors and partners, including Altria, you just heard from Jennifer, Mosley Architects, the Graduate Richmond, the Faison Center, the Virginia Institute for Autism, the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts, and Elizabeth Daly Designs. And finally, I want to welcome and give a special thank you to all of the donors who support the Curry School and UVA, especially the Dean's Circle of Friends at the Curry School. We're grateful to all of you, alumni, parents, and friends, for your support. And one of the reasons we're here this evening is because Richmond is so important to the Curry School and to the entire university. Our undergraduate applicant pool from the greater Richmond area continues to grow in number and in quality every year. The strength of our alumni base and the support we receive from Richmond is significant. We have great relationships with the other colleges and universities here, whose strengths complement our own. And we have strong partnerships with our friends in the state legislature. Our theme tonight is realizing human potential. And at UVA, that effort is central to our mission. At the Curry School, the concept of realizing human potential works exponentially as students are prepared to help others realize their potential in their roles as teachers, school leaders, educators, researchers, clinicians, athletic trainers, and more. And for UVA to continue its position of national prominence, we must continue to pursue new scholarly work and provide a great education for our students. The Curry School pursues this work with excellence, as is evidenced by their rise in the national rankings, the excellence of the school's faculty, and the dedication of its students, and may I say their success after their graduation. You can see examples of this meaningful work right here in Richmond. Some examples of the Curry School's work here includes contributions to the Virginia Governor's Children's Cabinet, including a report on chronic absences, long-standing state-level work in early childhood education and pre-K, including efforts to improve workforce and classroom impacts and assessments, collaboration with the higher education system on access, affordability, and matriculation, and ongoing work on teacher effectiveness. And in addition to this work in Richmond, Dean Pianta and the Curry School faculty have identified a number of transformative ideas that show how a school of education can contribute directly to realizing human potential. Their transformative interdisciplinary projects, which you're going to learn more about in a moment, show how UVA is leading the effort to realize human potential as the university begins its third century. I want to say that working with Dean Pianta has been a highly rewarding experience for me, and I've also learned a lot from him. There is a reason why Dean Pianta is one of the most highly cited education researchers in the United States. He has inspired his faculty and his students, I might add, with a sense of entrepreneurship, which is unusual in any school of education. And it's reflected in part in their increase in funded research, which has the fastest slope of growth of any of the schools at the university. So I thank you for being here this evening and for supporting the Curry School and UVA. And now please help me welcome Dean Pianta back to the stage to introduce the rest of our program.
Thank you very much, Terry. When we say realizing human potential, we do not mean this as a slogan. When we consider Curry's mission, its place in the community, the state, and the nation, it's clear to us that we're obligated to take on some of society's greatest challenges. In our lexicon, we call these big ideas. They're not just abstractions that sit in a faculty member's office. Rather, we create the very best evidence for solutions that work in the real world and take those solutions to scale, to have the largest and widest impact possible. Among the big ideas at Curry are initiatives in autism and in classroom simulation. In the first of two presentations you'll see in a moment, we will hear from two faculty experts about Curry's plans for autism. Curry is uniquely situated to tackle key challenges related to autism, particularly statewide, by linking with assets at UVA and with our community-based service providers. We're pleased to be joined this evening by two foundational partners in that effort, the Virginia Institute for Autism and the Faison Center. We plan to harness assets among all of our partners to develop and bring to scale a responsive and family-centered approach to supporting all those who are affected by autism. The second presentation describes Curry's use of simulation in the preparation of teachers. Imagine for me, I actually lived this as a teacher, imagine with me how tense and anxious teachers in training must be when first placed in a live classroom in front of 20 kids. And how beneficial it would be for those student teachers to have low risk and repeated opportunities to practice managing and teaching in a classroom environment. Imagine the positive effect that training would have on your confidence and your skill. Or imagine if you've been a third grade teacher for 20 years and you just got reassigned to 7th grade. That got you. Okay. 7th grade always gets people. Imagine if you could reach out under those circumstances to a teaching simulation center so you could practice engaging effectively with a group of adolescent students. We have no doubt that a teaching simulator will have a profound and positive impact on the effectiveness of every teacher, not only at Curry, but we plan to build it for teachers across the country. And I should note that in both of these initiatives, through President Sullivan's support, the university has made initial investments in both autism and simulation through President Sullivan's faculty cluster hiring program. With that seed funding, we've kicked off both projects. So let me now introduce to you Micah Masaryk, Bill Therian, and Ginger Watson. Micah is an associate professor in the Curry School of Education who was most recently at the University of Missouri, where she was an associate professor at the Thompson Center for Autism and Neurodevelopmental Disorders and director of the Missouri Leadership Education in Neurodevelopmental Disabilities program. Micah's work focuses on tools, techniques, and technologies for diagnosis, treatment, and access to care for individuals with autism and their families. Bill Therian is a professor of education at the Curry School in Special Education, who we recruited from the University of Iowa a few years ago. Bill is a leading scholar across a number of areas in special education, serving as editor now of Exceptional Children, the flagship journal in the field, and contributing as an editorial board member in a number of other journals as well. Ginger Watson, who is an associate professor of education at Curry, literally joined us in August from Old Dominion. We were really glad she took that drive up 64. Ginger brings deep experience connecting industry with academia in developing simulations that advance training in complex skills. Right now, she's been working on a project with preschool teachers. Her primary focus at Curry is in instructional technology and learning science, and particularly the area of simulated learning. Please join me first in welcoming to the stage Micah and Bill.